Marco Polo, the journey that connected East and West Venice, 1271. The sun rises over the Grand Canal. The city stirs with the sound of bells and merchants. In the twilight of the 13th century, a young Venetian set out on a journey so vast, so perilous, that it would echo through the annals of history. His name was Marco Polo, and what he saw, touched, and chronicled would bridge two worlds. This is the story of discovery, wonder, and connection between distant civilizations. This is the journey that brought East and West face to face. The merchant's son, Marco Polo, was born in 1254 in Venice, a vibrant maritime republic teeming with trade and ambition. His father, Niccolo Polo, and uncle Maffeo were seasoned merchants who had already ventured deep into the lands of the Mongol Empire, returning years later with tales of the fabled Kublai Khan. At just 17, Marco was chosen to accompany them on a return expedition to the east. It would not be a short voyage. The road ahead stretched over 7,000 miles, a web of deserts, mountains, and unfamiliar customs. He left behind the comforts of Venice and stepped into the unknown, armed not with weapons, but with curiosity. Across the Silk Road, the Polos journeyed through the heart of Asia, following ancient trade routes known as the Silk Road. Through Armenia, Persia, and the harsh Karakum Desert, they encountered bandits, shifting empires, and extremes of heat and cold. They crossed the Pamir Mountains, known as the Roof of the World, where thin air and freezing winds tested every traveler's resolve. Marco absorbed every sight, sound, and smell. He documented strange customs, unfamiliar foods, and wondrous creatures. Camels, spices, paper money, coal. These things were foreign to most Europeans. What he witnessed was not a barbaric land, as many in the West believed, but a tapestry of civilizations, rich, ancient, and astonishing, the court of Kublai Khan. After years of travel, the Polos finally reached Chengdu, the summer palace of Kublai Khan, the most powerful ruler on earth. Grandson of Genghis Khan, Kublai ruled over the vast Yuan dynasty, stretching from China to the Caspian Sea. The Khan, intrigued by the Polos and their knowledge of the West, took a special liking to young Marco. He appointed him to his court, and for 17 years, Marco Polo served as emissary, governor, and observer, traveling across China on behalf of the Khan. He saw cities that dwarfed those of Europe, canals that snaked for hundreds of miles, and a civilization governed by logic and law. He marveled at Hangzhou, described as the finest and most splendid city in the world. He traveled to Tibet, Burma, and even as far as Yunnan, encountering cultures few Westerners even knew existed. Returned to the West in 1292, the Polos began their return journey. They escorted a Mongol princess to Persia by sea, enduring treacherous storms and disease. Only a fraction of the crew survived. They arrived back in Venice in 1295 after 24 years abroad. But Venice had changed, and so had they. To many, Marco's tales were too fantastical. Cities of gold, burning black stones, beasts unknown to the West. They called him Il Milione, implying he exaggerated everything by the millions. Yet his accounts were too detailed, too vivid, to dismiss entirely. Prisoner and author. Just a few years later, Venice went to war with rival city-state Genoa. Marco was captured and imprisoned. There, in a Genoese cell, he dictated his incredible travels to fellow prisoner Rustichello da Pisa. The resulting book, Il Milione, or The Travels of Marco Polo, became a medieval bestseller. It ignited the imaginations of Europeans. For many, it was their first window into the East, a world of sophistication, silk, and science. Some thought him a liar, others called him a visionary, but none could deny the world now seemed larger. Legacy of a journey. Marco Polo died in 1324, still defending the truth of his stories. Centuries later, his book would inspire none other than Christopher Columbus, who carried a copy on his own voyages. His words bridged not just East and West, but past and future. Today, scholars debate the accuracy of some accounts, but the impact is unquestionable. Marco Polo opened the eyes of Europe. He shattered the notion of a West-centered world. He proved that curiosity could span continents and change history. A map unfolds. He was not a conqueror, not a king. He wielded no sword. Yet through ink and memory, Marco Polo redrew the map of human possibility. As the map of Asia slowly fades into the parchment background, one path remains highlighted, the long, winding road of a Venetian boy who dared to walk into the unknown, and brought back a story that would echo through time.